നമസ്കാരം. ഇന്നത്തെ ക്ലാസ്സിൽ സൈക്കോളജിയിലെ വളരെ പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട കുറച്ച് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസ് ആണ് ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ ഇത് സെറ്റ് 3 ആണ് കേട്ടോ. ഇതിനു മുമ്പ് സെറ്റ് 1ഉം 2 ഒക്കെ കഴിഞ്ഞതാണ്. ഇത് സെറ്റ് 3 ആണ്. അപ്പോൾ അതിനകത്ത് ഫസ്റ്റ് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ആണ്, എ ടീച്ചർ റിപ്പീറ്റഡ്ലി മേക്സ് loud noise in the class in order to attract the attention of students. This is a kind of dash. Options A, positive reinforcer, B, negative reinforcer, C, positive punishment, D, negative punishment. Answer B, negative reinforcer. രണ്ടാമത്തെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ, gambling or lottery games are good examples of dash. Options A, fixed interval reinforcement, B, fixed ratio reinforcement, C, variable interval reinforcement, D, variable ratio reinforcement. Answer D, variable ratio reinforcement. മൂന്നാമത്തെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ, which of the following is an example of variable ratio reinforcement as stated by Skinner? Options A, the teacher prizes the students for giving every 5 answers correct. B, the teacher prizes the students after every 5 minutes. C, the teacher prizes the students at variable number of correct responses. D, the teacher prizes the students for every correct answer. Answer C, the teacher prizes the students at variable number of correct responses. നാലാമത്തെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ, ലിറ്റിൽ ആൽബർട്ട് എക്സ്പെരിമെന്റ് ഷോവ്ഡ് ദാറ്റ്. ഓപ്ഷൻസ് എ, ലേണിംഗ് ഈസ് കണ്ടീഷനിങ്, ബി, ലേണിംഗ് ഈസ് പെർസെപ്ഷൻ, സി, ഇൻസൈഡ് ലേണിംഗ്, ഡി, റോട്ട് ലേണിംഗ്. ആൻസർ എ, ലേണിംഗ് ഈസ് കണ്ടീഷനിങ്. അഞ്ചാമത്തെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ, വോൾഫ്ഗാങ് കോഹ്ലർസ് ബുക്ക്. ഓപ്ഷൻസ് എ, തോട്ട് ആൻഡ് ലാംഗ്വേജ്, ബി, ഗ്രോത്ത് ഓഫ് ദ മൈൻഡ്, സി, ദ മെന്റാലിറ്റി ഓഫ് ഏപ്സ്, ഡി, കോണ്ടംപററി സ്കൂൾസ് ഓഫ് സൈക്കോളജി. ആൻസർ സി, ദ മെന്റാലിറ്റി ഓഫ് ഏപ്സ്. ആറാമത്തെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ, ദ ഫൗണ്ടിങ് ഫാദർ ഓഫ് സൈക്കോളജി ഈസ് കൺസിഡേർഡ് ടു ബി. ഓപ്ഷൻസ് എ, വിൽഹം വൂണ്ട്, ബി, വില്യം ജെയിംസ്, സി, ജോഹാനസ് മുള്ളർ, ഡി, ചാൾസ് ഡാർവിൻ. ആൻസർ എ, വിൽഹം വൂണ്ട്. ഏഴാമത്തെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ, elements that are closer together will be perceived as a coherent object. Options A, law of proximity, B, law of similarity, C, law of closure, D, law of good continuation. Answer A, law of proximity. എട്ടാമത്തെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ, the whole is other than the sum of the parts the phrase is related to. Options A, holistic psychology, B, functional psychology, C, Gestalt Psychology, D, Personalistic Psychology. Answer C, Gestalt Psychology. ഒൻപതാമത്തെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ, if a teacher gives additional 2 marks for good handwriting, it is dash. Options A, positive reinforcer, B, negative reinforcer, C, positive punishment, D, negative punishment. Answer A, positive reinforcer. പത്താമത്തെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ, the teacher did not give attendance for latecomers. It is a type of dash. Options A, positive punishment, B, negative reinforcer, C, negative punishment, D, negative reinforcer. Answer C, negative punishment. 11ാമത്തെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ, The Gestalt's view of human nature believes that People strive for. Options A. Power. B. Social acceptance. C. Wholeness. D. Individually. Answer C. Wholeness. 12th question. Dash theory emphasize the importance of organization, meaningful and understanding in education. Options A. Organisimic. B. Hormic. C. Functional. D. Gestalt. Answer D. Gestalt. 13th question. I am primarily interested in thinking process. I am a dash psychologist. Options A. Cognitive. B. Learning. C. Perception. D. Personality. Answer A. Cognitive. 14th question. The book Growth of the Mind written by. Options A. Wolfgang Kohler. B. Kurt Kafka. C. Kurt Lewin. D. Max Wertheimer. Answer B. Kurt Kafka. 15th question. When a child hears a loud noise, he cries. The family's dog often barks loudly. Each time the child sees the dog, he cries. What is the conditional response? Options A. The dog. B. The loud noise. C. The crying. D. The barking. Answer C. The crying. 16th question. When does the most intense and crucial socialization take place in a human being? Options A. During childhood. B. During adolescence. C. Throughout the life of a person. None of the above. Answer B. During adolescence. 17th question. A reinforcer is. Options A. Anything that strengthens a desired behavior. B. The removal of anything which increases the possibility of responses to occur. C. A stimulus that decreases the possibility of the response to occur. D. All of this. Answer C. A stimulus that decreases the possibility of the response to occur. 18th question. If a teacher makes aware of the students of punishment for late coming, it is dash. Options A. Positive reinforcement. B. Negative reinforcement. C. Positive punishment. D. Negative punishment. Answer B. Negative reinforcement. 19th question. Ramesh had a serious car accident while Mozart was playing on his stereo. Now, every time Ramesh hears a Mozart song, he feels frightened and panicked. What is the unconditional stimulus? Options A. The car accident. B. Ramesh fear and anxiety. C. Music by Journey. D. Driving in a car. Answer the car accident. 20th question. Dash is also called Hormic psychology. Options A. Dynamic psychology. B. Gestalt psychology. C. Forensic psychology. D. Existential psychology. Answer A. Dynamic psychology. 21st question. The author of book The Hormic Psychology. Options A. William Stern. B. Adolf Meyer. C. Kurt Galtons. D. McDougall. Answer D. McDougall. 22nd question. How many modes does a learner have according to Bruner in cognitive development? Options A. 3. B 4, C 5, D 6. ആൻസർ A 3. 23ാമത്തെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ. ഓഫ് ദ following who is associated with the Personalistic School of Psychology? Options A. Ivan Pavlov, B. B.F. Skinner, C. William Stern, D. Max Wertheimer. Answer C. William Stern. 24ാമത്തെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ. A teaching approach in which basic knowledge of a subject is taught first, then more satisfaction is added, reinforcing principles that were first discussed is known as. Options A. Linear curriculum, B. Vertical curriculum, C. Spiral curriculum, D. Horizontal curriculum. Answer C. Spiral curriculum. 25ാമത്തെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ. Which represents the correct order of Piaget's stages of intellectual development? Options A. Sensory motor, concrete operational, formal operational, post operational. B. Pre-operational, concrete operational, formal operational, sensory motor. C. Sensory motor, pre-operational, concrete operational, formal operational. D. Pre-operational, informal operational, formal operational, post operational. Answer C. Sensory motor, pre-operational, concrete operational, formal operational. 26ാമത്തെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ. Who was the author of the book Process of Education? Options A. Skinner, B. John Dewey, C. Vygotsky, D. Brunner. Answer D. Brunner. 27ാമത്തെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ. When parents around the world use a short, sharp rhythm, they are. Options A. Warning their baby, B. Comforting their baby, C. Calling attention to objects, D. Praising their baby. Answer A. Warning their baby. 28ാമത്തെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ. The curriculum and instructional approach in India is more based on. Options A. Skinner's theory, B. Brunner's cognitive constructivism and spiral theory, C. Collaborative learning, D. Cooperative learning. Answer B. Brunner's cognitive constructivism and spiral theory. 29ാമത്തെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ. As per Brunner's approach of cognitive constructivism, a teacher acts in the classroom as. Options A. Guide, B. Authority, C. Source of information, D. Facilitator. Answer D. Facilitator. 30ാമത്തെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ. In spiral curriculum, instruction goes from. Options A. Simple to complex, B. Concrete to abstract, C. None of these, D. Both of these. Answer D. Both of these. 31ാമത്തെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ. Knowing how something is put together is worth 1,000 facts about it. This is an opinion of Brunner brought about his book Process of Learning. This emphasizes on. Options A. Acquisition of knowledge, B. Processing of knowledge, C. Concept formation, D. Analytical thinking. Answer C. Concept formation. 32ാമത്തെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ. Education has to develop. Options A. Inactive cognitive power in the learner, B. Iconic cognitive power in the learner, C. Symbolic cognitive power in the learner. D. All of these. Answer D. All of these. 33ാമത്തെ question. According to Brunner, the objective of education is to. Options A. Gathering of information. B. Develop the cognitive and problem solving skill of the learner. C. Make learner capable of meeting life skills. D. Think and explore matter in a successive order. Answer B. Develop the cognitive and problem solving skill of the learner. 34ാമത്തെ question. The stage theory in learning was developed by. Options A. Piaget. B. Brunner. C. Skinner. D. Thorndike. Answer A. Piaget. 35ാമത്തെ question. According to Piaget, schemata exist even at the time of dash. Options A. Conception. B. Birth. C. At sensory motor stage. D. Formal operational stage. Answer A. Conception. 36ാമത്തെ question. Only education is capable of saving our societies from possible collapse, whether violent or gradual. Who opined this? Options A. Noam Chomsky. B. Piaget. C. John Dewey. D. William Wundt. Answer B. Piaget. 37ാമത്തെ question. It is discovering the roots of the different varieties of knowledge. Since its elementary terms following to the next level, including also the scientific knowledge, Piaget refers this about. Options A. Assimilation of knowledge. B. Construction of knowledge. C. Genetic epistemology. D. Accommodation of knowledge. Answer C. Genetic epistemology. 38ാമത്തെ question. According to Piaget's stage theory for development, it requires. Options A. Ability to think. B. Ability to move thought forward. C. Biological maturity. D. None of this. Answer C. Biological maturity. 39ാമത്തെ question. The thought that allows children to solve problems without physically encountering things in the real world is known as to. Options A. Abstract thought. B. Concrete thought. C. Operational thought. D. Symbolic thought. Answer C. Operational thought. 40ാമത്തെ question. When the existing cognitive structure undergoes changes and modifications to incorporate new information, we call it as dash. Options A. Modification. B. Accommodation. C. Reorganization. D. Equilibration. Answer B. Accommodation. 41ാമത്തെ question. The highest order of schema is. Options A. Behavioral schema. B. Symbolic schema. C. Operational schema. D. None of this. Answer C. Operational schema. 42ാമത്തെ question. A type of thought where a word or object is used to represent something other than itself is called. Options A. Formal thought. B. Symbolic thought. C. Concrete thought. D. Analytic thought. Answer B. Symbolic thought. 43ാമത്തെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ schemata are consistently being revised and elaborated upon each time the child encounters new experiences. The statement is options A true, B false, C partially true, D partially false. Answer A true. 44ാമത്തെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ assimilation means options A gathering information, B processing information, C incorporation of information, D interpreting of information. Answer C incorporation of information. 45ാമത്തെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ the first psychologist who made systematic study of cognitive development was options A Skinner, B Bruner, C Thorndike, D Piaget. Answer D Piaget. 46ാമത്തെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ according to Piaget, intellectual growth is a process of adaptation to the world which happens through options A assimilation, B accommodation, C equilibration, D all of this. Answer D all of this. 47ാമത്തെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ Piaget's cognitive development was a progressive reorganization of mental process as a result of dash. Options A biological maturation, B environmental experiences, C both of these, D none of these. Answer C both of these. 48ാമത്തെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ which of the following are the characteristics of Piaget's study? Options A it is concerned with children rather than all learners, B it focused on development rather than learning, C it proposed discrete stages of development marked by qualitative differences, D all of this. Answer D all of this. 49ാമത്തെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ schemata are subjected to modification. An example of this is dash. Options A child knows that mother is affectionate, B the child modifies that affection as emotional and environmental, C the child modifies the schema when he goes to school as affection from friends, D all of this. Answer D all of this. 50ാമത്തെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ which of the following statement is correct? Options A teachers should engage with themselves and help students to ask questions, B teachers should engage with the syllabus and keep students engaged in various tasks, C teachers should engage with the students and ask them questions, D all of these. Answer C teachers should engage with the students and ask them questions.